You are not dumb. If you can read, write, and understand these words that I'm speaking right now, you are not dumb. You have the raw potential to become really smart, in fact, because language, it's difficult to understand, yet you do it. That's because you're smart, you have the capacity. Speak not of gifts or innate talents. One can name all kinds of great men who were not very gifted, but they acquired greatness, became geniuses. I love this quote. Greatness, it's acquired. Genius, it's developed. If you can understand language, in my opinion, you can become a genius. Now, if you watch this video until the end, you'll have all the tools to become slightly smarter every single day until others call you a fucking genius or think that you're a genius. So when I was 13, I was under tremendous pressure. Imagine having to take an exam in 3 months about maths, that could decide the destiny of your life, but you actually know nothing about the subject itself. I had terrible grades, and my parents put me under so much pressure, I remember literally living in fear and anxiety and being like, oh shit, the exam is coming, I don't want to do this. And every time I thought about this, I would literally sweat. And I swore, I tried to understand. I went to school every single day. I had this fat ass professor who would scream at me that I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. He would scream at everybody. And I tried to understand the lessons. I tried to listen, but I just couldn't. I couldn't understand and I couldn't comprehend the information. I would pray when I was in class that the professor would not call my name. Please not today, please not today. But sometimes he did. And my heart would start racing at 100 miles per hour and I would go in front of the whiteboard. He would give me the equation to solve in nothing. I just couldn't. And I felt like an embarrassment when that happened. Another bad grade, my parents are gonna be pissed. How could, so many other kids understand these equations, my classmates, but I couldn't. Was I dumber? I must be, right? If I can't understand what others understand, I must be dumber. And the worst thing was that, I thought that I was doomed to fail my math exams. This would put me in a mediocre school and I would have a mediocre life and I was cursed, my dumb brain that could not understand math. And long story short, I studied hard for the next 3 months and I basically took my exam better than I could have imagined. I joined the school and I was happy. So lesson learned. Being smart is a skill which you develop. I was worse than the other kids because I avoided math like the plague all the time. And so I never really solved these equations. I never much worked at them. Of course I couldn't understand. Join the free self-improvement community if you want to find a great purpose to your life and build great discipline with your habits. Now, the quality of your thinking decides the quality of your life. Think about this. What is life? Deep questions right here. What is life? Isn't life just a bunch of decisions you have to make and then simply the ability to actually follow through on these decisions? So if you made the right decisions and develop the discipline to, follow through, you'd probably end up living a pretty good life. Now, the problem with myself and most other people, I would say, is that sometimes we're completely ignorant of our decisions. And the reason is because we lack the skill of thinking. We lack real life intelligence, thinking capability, and so we catch ourselves in our own little traps in life, making stupid decisions. For example, how does a self-made billionaire become one? It's not just good decisions. He has the same amount of time. He starts from the same positions as us since he's self-made. So the only difference between you, me, and the self-made billionaire is the decisions he makes and the time elapsed. So if I had the knowledge and the intelligence of the self-made billionaire right now, if I magically had his brain of knowledge, I would probably become a self-made billionaire in 10 to 15 years myself, because I have this knowledge. But I don't. The self-made billionaire has a high quality of thinking in terms of making money. The higher quality, thinker you are, the better you perceive reality and the better decisions you can make, and you can progress faster than other people. So being a genius is nothing special. It's just the ability to actually think and understand the reality of life, at least in your field of interest, but also in general. So for example, I make great decisions with my health. I eat the right way, I sleep the right way, and I train the right way. For this, I'm rewarded with a great body that I like. Now, before, however, I used to make terrible decisions. And I had a terrible, skinny, Holocaust-looking body. But by learning about health and fitness, I'm capable of making better decisions and getting better results. My reality, when it comes to fitness, I understand it. I understand the reality of getting fit and getting a healthy body. So of course, it's easy for me to have one. I have become a high quality thinker in terms of fitness itself. And I would say this is now true for most of the things in my life overall, at least the ones that I care about. I don't really make dumb decisions anymore and fall into stupid traps like I used to before. So how can you understand reality in your preferred field or the reality of life in general as quickly as possible? How do you actually become a smarter, better thinker? Okay, so here is how to become smarter every single day. Just a little bit smarter until so many days have passed that people think you're a genius. Now, as always, this video is useless if you don't actually take action. So if you don't take action, what I'm about to tell you, I'm gonna give you 3 steps. If you don't actually do them, it's not gonna work, obviously. Step 1 is radical open-mindedness. So the biggest threat to intelligence is being close-minded. You start life close-minded. This is a normal mentality of people. So close-mindedness is our natural way of things. See, the brain, what we do is we get these beliefs. So we learn something, we build beliefs, but often we generalize because we don't have the full picture yet. And we create false beliefs. And then when we create false beliefs, we get attached to our beliefs, all of our beliefs, true or false, we get attached to them. And when somebody threatens our belief, we close our mind. It's very dangerous for us. It destabilizes us. So imagine you believe in God and you truly believe that there is a God on this earth and that he has chosen humans and that God takes care of you. So you hold this belief. Then another person comes along and he says, well, God doesn't exist because so and so and so. So this other person holds other beliefs. Now, if you're close-minded, you'll be like, oh, what a stupid guy, like obviously God exists. This guy is a dumbass. But if you're open-minded, you listen to the guy. And you'd be like, okay, why do you have these beliefs? And then even if you don't fully agree, which you probably won't, you learn something. You learn something that you would have never learned if you were close-minded. The best example of a close-minded person I can give you is Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was an incredibly intelligent guy. He was very intelligent, very competent. But he was so close-minded that he developed the craziest fucking philosophy of life, which literally killed millions of people. He did it because of close-mindedness. I've read his book. I know this shit, okay? So you need to be open-minded to actually not make stupid mistakes and actually know the truth. Because guess what? Radical open-mindedness is literally the ability to consider ideas from every angle possible. Truth is an amalgamation of all viewpoints and never in one viewpoint only. Truth you can never find in one viewpoint. So if you believe in one viewpoint, you're not very smart, okay? Because you're not getting the truth. So let's say you're a liberal, you believe in the left politically. You disagree with everything the right says. Well, you're not very smart, because there is some truths to both sides. So in reality, if you were smart, you would take the truths from the left political ideologies and the right political ideologies, and you'd combine them, and then you form your own worldview that is completely different than any other viewpoint. So you would form a unique viewpoint by learning about all the other viewpoints and taking only the truth and discarding the rest. And this is how you actually get the truth. If you believe in one viewpoint, you're close-minded and you're not gonna get the truth. You're not gonna be very intelligent. You're not gonna be very smart. You're just gonna make stupid decisions with your life. I was close-minded before. I was very skeptical, and that's why I made my stupid decisions. Now let me tell you something. In practice, radical open-mindedness is to simply be willing to consider every viewpoint around the topic. And from there, you make up your own mind. If you're open-minded enough, you never get triggered. So when you get triggered, when somebody says something and it pisses you off, that's the point at which you need to be open-minded. Because the only reason you're getting triggered is because your ego, your current belief, is being threatened. But if your current belief is being threatened, that means it's probably false. The person who has the truth, the truthful beliefs, he does not get triggered. He does not get pissed off, because for him it's obvious, and for him it seems ridiculous anything else. So he doesn't get frustrated that other people believe other things. When you get triggered, next time you get triggered by somebody, which you will, it's only a matter of time, remember open-mindedness. And remember that if you're triggered, that's where truth lies. So if somebody has triggered you, explore his viewpoint, because that's where the truth is. In the most fucking repulsive place where you don't want to search, that's your blind spot. That's the part of the world you don't understand. This is why you hate it so much. It threatens your secure little tiny point of view, but you have to break out of it to expand your worldview and be open-minded and actually get the full picture of the truth. And this is how you learn, with open-mindedness. Now, step 2 is to consume quality information. Information literally shapes the type of person you are. The only reason you're not some monkey on a tree right now is because you had the education of modern society. So information shapes everything about you. If you had zero information and somebody just dropped you in the forest before you had learned anything about life, you'd be climbing trees like a fucking monkey, and you'd be picking up berries, and you wouldn't even know what the fuck you're doing, okay? You'd be like a hunter-gatherer, not even, because learning to hunt and gather is still learning. So imagine somebody dropped you in the forest with no education, nothing. You were just in the fucking forest. You grew up by yourself. You wouldn't know anything, and you'd probably die, okay? So information literally shapes who you are. The only reason you're here right now is because of the information you've gotten and of what you've learned. Obviously, there's also personality, but it's both, okay? Now, most people's information is disgustingly infected. We got social media, the news, school, television. If these are the information sources that shape you, you have average or below average intelligence. The average person gets his information from social media, the news, school, and television. These are not good sources of information most of the time. Social media is made for money. The algorithms are made for money, for keeping you on the platform as long as possible. So what's on social media, what's popular on social media, what gets in the algorithm is usually bullshit, low quality content, Mr. Beast type shit, okay? Andrew Tate swearing about women type shit. Nothing useful. Social media is not a good place for information unless you fucking deliberately search for people who are actually good. Then you have the news. The news is terrible because it's politically involved. They often lie because of politics, because the journalists and the networks, they have reputation to uphold, a career to maintain, and if they go against the political landscape, they get cancelled. So the news are biased. They're not actual truth because it's just infected. School is outdated as fuck. It's very old. The system is not well designed at all for learning. You've probably been in school and it's boring as shit, and you don't actually learn anything practical besides like languages and basic mathematics. Everything else is fucking useless pretty much in school. So yeah, school is not bad. Like, everybody obviously should go through school, but that should not be your only source of information, definitely. And television, let's not even speak about television and celebrities and gossip and shit like that. Absolutely useless. These are below average to average sources of information that will never make you that intelligent person you want to be. You want to replace trash sources of information with high quality sources of information. So you want to learn from the people you want to be like, learn from intelligent people, okay? That's what you want to do. So instead of scrolling social media, instead of watching the news, you can study in school if that's relevant to you. That's the only one, but remove television as well. So instead of doing these things, read books or find people through the internet or in real life who can actually mentor you and help you to actually learn something. You have to be like this man. You have to be in the wilderness. So you've been in civilization. You know about the news and social media and school and television. You know about this shit. It hasn't helped you so far. It hasn't helped you much. You probably don't live, if you're watching self-help videos, you're probably not in the most amazing life. Like, you're not all that happy with your life. So you've been there. It doesn't help you that much. Consume high quality sources of information. Go out in the wilderness. Find the books, find the people who are not systemized. As soon as knowledge gets systemized and gets put into an institution, it gets corrupted. So find the people who just write books, and who are thinkers and who are not dragged down by the need for money and shit like that. And this is where you find true knowledge, okay? Now, step 3 is framework construction. So you find true knowledge. You find a book that is valuable, okay? You find some book. This book is about bad habits and addictions, for example. You find a book. You read the book. You read the book and you're like, oh, this is useful information. Let's pretend that this is useful information. You find this useful information. Well, all you have to do is get that information and add it in here. So this is useful information. You read the book. Preferably, you should actually type this because you remember it better. You add it here and you read books. You keep reading, you're done reading. After you're done reading, you have to go and do framework expansion. Okay, framework is this. So I have frameworks around many topics. Let's just go, for example, this framework. And this is a framework to maximize my personal resources for the best possible achievement of my purpose. So this is my framework of being, in a sense, productive or disciplined or something like that. Just maximizing my potential. Mastery framework. And here I have gathered all the knowledge around this topic. All the knowledge I've learned from books over like the last year, and from YouTube and from any source of quality information, all the knowledge I've gathered into this framework. And this might look overwhelming for you, but it really isn't. It really isn't. When you do one by one, when you get the ideas and you organize them, bro, it's not overwhelming. You actually remember where you put stuff. Now, why do we do this? Why do we go through this complicated, almost complicated process? Well, because if you don't do this, you forget the information. You read a book and it just goes away. And so you're not smarter. But if you actually create a framework around the topics, only around the important topics, don't create around everything, you're gonna go crazy, only around the important topics. For example, this is a very important topic for me: mastery, self-mastery, maximizing your resources, productivity, discipline, very important topics, and I've created a whole framework around that. And this framework, honestly, I can write a book. There's so many ideas in here, I can write a whole book on how to do this shit, okay? That's how many ideas there are. So you create this framework And when you keep adding ideas and modifying this framework, you become smarter and smarter and smarter. And believe it or not, when you get an idea, when you read it a second time, so you read it once in the book, you add it in here, just writing it down, you remember it better. But when you come back and you actually find this idea and you put it into a framework of already, established knowledge, and you actually order it somewhere logical on the framework, you fucking remember it. Like, I don't even go back here. I don't read this most of the times. Like, I don't sit here reading this. I just fucking remember it because I've gone through the effort of organizing it. And this way, in a way, I'm a small genius in this topic. I just understand this topic now. I understand how to maximize my time. Understand how not to waste it. Okay? So this is who you need to be. And this is what you need to do. And believe me, this fucking works. It will make you a genius. Now, make sure to have open-mindedness, high quality source of information, and creating frameworks. If you actually learn and create frameworks about the high quality source of information that you're open-minded about, holy fuck, you know so much. You will not believe it. It cannot be explained how much I know. If I wanted to make a video every day for the next year, I can make a video on each one of these ideas and I wouldn't run out of ideas for the next fucking year. And this is just one framework. I've got many frameworks. Look at how many frameworks I have. Okay? Well, generation, specific skills, movement, YouTube. We have body, exercise. We have all these fucking topics that I know which are important to me. We have people, anthropology, family, this is crazy. I know it looks crazy, but fucking believe me, it works. My mission is to help every young man find his purpose in life and become disciplined in pursuing it. So join the community, link in the description if you're interested in improving yourself. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye.